welcome back to my channel. I'm Myra from Low Carb Love, and today we're going to be making a super delicious recipe by Hannah Knows Carbs. She's on Instagram, so if you haven't checked her out, go check her out. We're going to be making the keto strawberry pretzel salad. So we're going to go over the ingredients, but just so you know, this is a 3-component recipe. We're first going to start off with our crust, then we're going to make the filling, and then we're going to make the topping. So for the crust, we're going to be using almond flour, butter, walnuts, and then sweetener. So we're using a brown sugar substitute, but you can use your regular sweetener and it's going to be just fine. And once we bake it, then we're going to sprinkle the salt on it, and that's what's going to give it that pretzel-y taste. For the filling, you will need sweetener, regular sweetener, no brown sugar, heavy cream, some vanilla flavor or extract, some room temperature cream cheese, and lemon. So basically we're gonna make like a cream cheese filling. And then for the topping, which is the very, very top layer, we're gonna use some strawberry jello. Now, you guys know that jello is a little dirty. It has a lot of dirty ingredients here, but you can make your own, which I do have a recipe coming for that. But, you know, for now, this is a super simple, quick, easy, you know, toppings. Okay, so now we're gonna get started on our crust. Make sure that you're preheating your oven to 375 degrees while you make your crust. So that way, you know, it's kind of like a smooth transition. Now, I'm gonna be using my little cheesecake spring form pan, but you can use basically anything. A silicone, this, you know, little Pyrex steel. Anything that you can bake in, you can make this in, because then after you could just cover it up and, you know, call it a day. So anyway, but we're going to be using this little guy here, and you will need a little bag so you can crush your walnuts. So let's go ahead and throw them in here. I personally like to leave them a little chunky because it gives it that texture. You know, you want texture in it, because the crust in itself, you know how we make the cheesecake crust? It's just with almond flour and the butter. So you can technically make the crust just with that, but the nuts give it that like crunchiness that you want. So we're gonna use it. And, you know, we're just gonna be savage and hit it until they crush. Okay, and if you're not about that savage life and you don't want to use the baggie, you can just do a rough chop with a knife, like so. Okay, so I ended up chopping a little crush and a little chop, okay? And now we're gonna mix everything into this bowl. We have a 1/3 cup of brown sugar substitute, okay? So this is, you can use the white regular sweetener, but this is the brown sugar substitute. So we're gonna mix everything in. We're gonna do the sweetener, 1/3 cup, 1/2 cup of almond flour. Now we're gonna this. You don't want to waste any of this. Okay, and then we're gonna mix everything up. So we mix all the dry crust ingredients. Okay, and now we add the butter. Oh yeah. And now let's finish mixing. Oopsie. Okay, so we're just gonna mix everything until it's well combined. And once your crust looks like chunky wet sand, like so, it's ready. Okay, so we're going to put it into our pan. Okay, and now we're just going to press it in. So probably want to use your hand for this. Look at that beauty. Beautiful. And now we're going to go bake it for 10 minutes. Remember, 375 degrees. Okay, so now we're gonna make our filling, and this is what you'll need. Basically a mixer. I'm gonna use my stand mixer, but you can use a hand mixer or really, you know, even just a hand whisk. We will need 1.5 cups of heavy cream. We will need 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. So fresh lemon juice. Don't ever use concentrated for like recipes where you want that like authentic lemon taste. Some vanilla flavor, we're going to use 8 ounces of softened cream cheese. And then for the sweetener, okay, so here's the sweetener. I'm using 3/4 cup of sweetener. None of this is raw. So start with 3/4 cup, taste it. If it's good for you, leave it. If not, go up to a cup or until you feel like, you know, this is a sweet spot. And I'm saying that because the Jell-O that's gonna go on top, which is the third part to this recipe, it's really sweet. So, you know, just keep that in mind. But yeah, let's start our filling. Okay, so let's start off with our softened cream cheese. Ooh, okay, and now let's do our sweetener. So 3/4 cup of powdered sweetener. We're gonna do our 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. Okay. Then our vanilla flavor or extract, 1 teaspoon. 1.5 cups of heavy cream. Okay, so we have all our wet ingredients in. And now, whoa, don't go crazy. Okay, so let's start slow. There we go. On slow. Okay, so let me show you what this filling is gonna look like. So as you can see, it's thick and beautiful. This is gonna taste delicious. Remember, there's nothing raw in here, so you can taste it. Make sure it's to your liking. This is your dessert, so it has to taste good to you. So here's our beautiful crust. This is what it'll look like after 10 minutes at 375 degrees. Okay, so here's our crust. Remember, we're gonna add a little salt on top. So it gives it that pretzel taste. Now we're gonna put this in the fridge to cool. Your crust has to be cool before you add the filling. So let's go put this in the fridge. Okay, so now the crust is cooling in the fridge. It's the last time we're gonna bake anything. So you basically just bake the crust. Everything else is gonna set in the fridge. So we're gonna make the filling, that'll set, then we'll put the Jell-O and that'll set. And voila, we're gonna have our pretzel salad. So now it's time for the Jell-O part. So we're gonna use sugar-free strawberry Jell-O. You can use any brand. Okay. Okay, so our Jell-O is in now. We're gonna do 1 cup of boiling water. And once the Jell-O is completely dissolved, we will add our iced. Okay, so now it is dissolved. So we're gonna add our iced water. Okay, so here's our iced water. So now we're just gonna mix. You're gonna let this sit out until it cools, because if we put this when it's still warm on top of the other layer, it's gonna kind of melt it. So this has to be cool before we add it to our, on top of our filling, okay? Okay, so to speed up the process, because I have no patience, we grabbed some water and some ice, and we're just gonna place our Jell-O in there so that it cools off. Okay, so our crust is cooled off, our cream cheese filling is cooled off. We've had this sitting in the fridge, as you can tell. And now we're going to add our filling onto our crust, like so. Wow. Wow. Okay. Okay, so now we're just gonna spread it. I mean, tell me this doesn't look amazing. Like you want to go make it right now. I know. Thanks, Hannah. You're the best for creating this awesome recipe. Okay, so you want to make sure that it's nice and smooth, because we're going to put our last layer over it. Now, to speed up the process, we're going to put it in the freezer, but if you're not in a rush, then you just put it in the fridge, let it completely set before you add your Jell-O topping. Okay, so now we have our filling that has been sitting in the freezer for about 10 minutes. So the hack here, the trick, is for you to have a wooden spoon, and then you're gonna slowly pour the Jell-O over, and that's how you're gonna get it to not like seep into the cream, okay? Okay, so we're going to add some sliced strawberries, just so it looks pretty. We're gonna add it directly onto our cream cheese filling. And then we're gonna add our Jell-O. So I just think it'll look pretty, and we're gonna try it. I haven't tried this yet with the strawberries, but hey, it's always a first for everything, right? Okay, so we're gonna use our wooden spoon, and we're gonna use this to break. This is just so that it doesn't, oh, look at it, it was starting to set in the bowl. So you want it to be cool, but you don't want it to set, you know, you don't want the Jell-O to set in the bowl. Okay, so now that everything is layered, we're gonna let it set in the fridge for 30 minutes to an hour. Okay, so I'm just going around with a butter knife to make sure that it's not sticking to the sides so that we can, I feel like I'm cutting into the crust, but you just want to make sure that it's not stuck so that it doesn't fall apart when you open the spring, you know, the little pan.
Alright, okay. Please don't be a fail.
Relax, relax.
Renegade.
Alright, let's check it out.
Ooh. It looks beautiful.
Okay, so I don't know why I didn't do it up here, but let's go ahead and transfer it. We're gonna transfer our, this looks like a beautiful cake, but it's the strawberry pretzel salad. That's the official name of it, but
it's more like a cake. It's strawberry pretzel cake.
Okay, my love, we'll call it a strawberry
pretzel cream cake.
Okay. Beautiful. Now let's dig in. All right, we're gonna try our best to. God, it can get gooey.
Oh, no. Oh my goodness. Oh, yes, girl.
Okay, where are we serving it?
Mine.
Here?
Yes. I got my little spoon.
Okay.
We're ready to dig in.
Well, wait for me. Are you gonna wait for the taste test with your mama? We're probably a little impatient. We could have waited an extra half hour to an hour.
Well,
but we're savages, right?
I'm a savage. Cheers.
Cheers. Ready? How's that?
Mmm.
What do you think? Mmm. This is delicious. Okay. So I told you that the nut was optional. No, I think that you must add the walnuts or pecans, something chunky at the you know, on the crust, because when you're chewing into it, it gives it like a
more of a cake.
Like a cracker, yeah, like a pretzel-y taste. So what do you think?
Definitely need to make it.
ASAP or like
right this second.
Right this second?
Mmm.
No, it's really delicious. It is a 3-step process, as you saw, but it's totally worth it. So make sure you go thank Hannah over at Hannah Knows Carbs, because this idea came from her. Thanks, babe. You're awesome. And until next time, I'll see you guys, and we love you. Mwah. See you soon.